Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live weekly work session. If you're joining us for the first time, we are very glad you're here. While everyone's getting connected, could you please put your name and where you're from in the chat? That would be awesome. We can welcome some of you on today. Very, very glad you're here. So just some quick housekeeping as we get started. This weekly work session is open to any Young Living distributor, whether or not you're a GetOiling customer. Of course, if you're not, I hope you choose to join us for just $1 for your first month and see all that we have to offer. Welcome, Terry. Welcome, Debbie. Welcome, Jackie. We got quite a few people on today here, so happy to see you're all here. Coach Ashley's not joining us today, so you get me. I'm Greg Kilwein, founder of GetOiling. My wife Amanda and I created GetOiling back in 2015 for her needs as a Young Living distributor. And now we're happy to be able to serve everyone in Young Living. So let's get started in the topics for today. So you probably saw the email that got sent out. I'll be doing a demo of the member area again, and we'll be doing some Q&A on that, just general QA, of course. I've got a few topics, a few questions that have come in this week that we'll be covering too. Time permitting on that. And but first, I have a couple of cool new things to share with you, cool new features. So I'm going to see if I can share out my screen here. If you give me a second, this always seems to cause a little issue when I do this. So let me get my screen shared here. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. Okay. So let me know if you can't see my screen in the chat. Otherwise, I'll assume that you can. Where is the chat? There we go. Okay, cool. So cool, a couple cool new things here that I wanted to show you. We have a recipe template. This was requested by, thank you for confirming you can see my screen. This was requested by Kathy, and so I wanted to share this with you. We have, so this is a saved reply now, so you can actually put this in pretty much anywhere that you can access to send content. So let's say I'll send an email here and you want to email out a recipe. I'm just clicking on their email address. But if I go in here under saved replies, now we have 2 recipe templates. And if you click, there are, it shows here, and you can easily replace with the new name of the recipe and change out your ingredients and instructions and swap out the photo. You click on the photo and click replace, and you can swap out the photo. So that's one of the recipe templates. So let me delete that here. Oops. There. I'll just put it below. And then the second recipe template down here is a little bit different format. You can see it starts here, but there's a photo up on top, the name, ingredients, preparation instructions. I'll share a button if you want to, which would take you you could link that up to your blog. And a photo at the bottom, maybe of the final prepared dish, something like that. So yeah, those are a couple cool little additions there. Thanks for the idea on that one. We have many other saved replies here too, to make creating emails and other things, other content easier. There's a multi-recipe template even here as well. That one's been around a while, but the newer ones I think are these down here. So next up, another cool little addition. Let me, actually a couple little things. Let me reload this page here. So we've had, over the last, few weeks, we had a few, we've been looking into tuning the back office performance a little bit, and hopefully you can see that as you're clicking around, that the pages do load a little bit more quickly than they used to. So that's a change we've been making. As well as we've heard from some people that editing a contact was a little bit too many steps. So there's a new little pencil icon, which you may have noticed here in the last week or two, that lets you edit a contact directly from the list without having to first click on their name and then click on edit. So you can just click this and it takes you right to the editor. This will save you a few clicks and some time, especially if you want to. It's like an easy way to tag, because tagging is pretty common. If you want to slap a tag on somebody, you can do that here. Just click edit. Now, the other cool feature here is you can now, and this is really like if you want to improve your networking, and this is what we hinted at in the email. If you want to improve your networking, and even off of Facebook, if you want to, name recall combined with a photo tends to be a little more powerful, especially for visual learners. So when you're dealing, or when you're working with some context, and some of you probably work on a one-by-one basis with some people, in coaching capacity or whatever. And so, remembering, or at least I know for me, having a face to go with the name really goes a long way. So now when you're editing a contact, I'll go in here, there's a little add photo link. So you can click that and choose a photo, and then it will upload the photo to the contact. So what I'm going to do here, I'll show you also how to get this off of Facebook. So this is a common place. Many of you are probably friends with a lot of the people in there. So I'm going to pull up what's a really old photo of mine on Facebook back when I had hair, and show you how to get this. So if you click on any photo, this really applies to any photo on Facebook. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a profile photo. But if you hover over the photo, and I think this, it might be, it's different on mobile, but when you're on your computer, there's a little options link down here. And you can click options and then click download. And what that's going to do is drop a little file on your computer, which then if I go back over here, and Alice is now going to have my photo. And let's see if I can find, of course, it's under, I'll see if I can locate it here. I'll just drop it in wherever this thing went to. And I'll click add photo again and then drop in here. So sometimes it doesn't show up right away. There's my photo. And then I will go down here and click save. And now it's going to show up. Thanks, Susie. As soon as we get to the contact page, we should have a photo. Oops, what did I do? Anyway, this is what happens during demos, of course, is that you find that the it doesn't always work. So the photo would show up here. Apparently, I picked a photo that doesn't work or something like that. But this is how I find. Oh, hey, here's somebody. I will see if that works a little bit better. If not, I'll look into this and get this addressed afterwards. There it is. Okay, so I don't know. Apparently it rejected my old photo with hair, so that's probably what's going on. But now you can put the little photo there, and you can click it, and there will be the photo will come up. So, and that also goes back to the list. If I go back to the list, you can see here now that Alice has the photo on there, and so yeah, you can go through there and basically make this a visual prompt. And this is going to, it's great for recall. Right at a list, you can scroll through, and especially if you have, this isn't obviously going to be on every contact unless you have a small list, but for those that you're working with in particular, it's a great way to recall. Carrie asks, what about when we update it with new members, will it stay? Yeah, the photo will stay. So like if you're uploading files, you're uploading your, I don't know, however often you do it, monthly or weekly or whatever, your update from the Young Living Virtual Office, the photo will stay there. I don't think they have photos in the virtual office, so yeah, it'll just stay there, and you can replace it however you want, however often as you'd like, or just leave it. So yeah, I like it. It's great for those who are working close one-on-one, and of course if you want to pull people off of Facebook, that's helpful as well. So cool. So yeah, just wanted to cover those. And so next up, so anyway, so if you have any questions, certainly start putting them in the chat. I have a couple of other things I'm going to be covering here first, and then we can get to the questions as you have them, and I'll cover them here as they come in and when it makes sense. So we did have a couple. Well, actually, before I hop into the questions, what I'm going to do the quick demo again of the member area. Many of you have been actively using that since we launched that last week. So we're very very excited about that new feature, and seeing what everyone's been doing with it. That it's been great through the support lines, helping people get set up with that. And A quick reminder: if you did not get signed up for this, we have, I believe it's called getoiling.com/member training, which then takes you to a page that allows you to, and you don't have to be a GetOiling customer, you can just go in and check this out. But this essentially gets you into our member area where you can poke around and learn what exactly the member area is and how to set yours up. So I'll put this link in the chat as well, but it's up here on the screen. Again, the shorter version of this is getoiling.com/member training. You don't need that longer URL that was up there. So I put that in the chat. So yeah, getting some requests to review the member area. Absolutely. So I'm going to close Facebook here. And let's see. So this is, Ashley had set up a, oops, no, it's Jane. We have a test account called Jane here, our holistic mama, person who doesn't actually exist in real life. So we've set up a demo account or demo member area with her. Close that out as well. So she has her holistic hideaway here, is what she called it, and you know, you can customize this. Basically, the member area is like you can take part of your website and brand it to yourself, give everyone private access with their own username and password, and choose what areas of your member area that people have access to. So you can set up, we call vaults. You can set those up like individual vaults, which is like you could call that like maybe a Facebook group, or it's similar to a Facebook group. It's like a group of people with a specific topic within your member area. And much like Facebook, you can have that each group or vault, we call them vaults, you can choose who gets in there. So whether the person is, you can set it up so it's completely public. Anyone visiting your website or maybe lands on a landing page can get in. You can make it that way. Or if it's something like a business builder vault, for example, you could then make it so that only people that you invite to the vault can get in too. So I'll go over this a little bit. Like, so this, the Welcome to Holistic Hideaway, I'll show you, like, for those of you that have this, and again, okay, so the member area feature is available on anyone who has the basic or higher plan. That's, I should say, the newer basic or higher plan. We do have some people that came in a long time ago at excuse me, a different pricing levels, and those, if you're not seeing the member area link in your My Site menu under here, just send us an email at support@getoiling.com, and I can figure out how to get that set up for you to see what we need to do with your plan to make that happen. So member area is where you go to set up all the wonderful customization that you can do. Under the member area, there's another member area, which is sort of like general settings, and you can see, this is the name that you give it, and Ashley has done an awesome job of personalizing this with a cover photo and the main photo, so you can see, actually those show up once you sign in, but if I come over here, you can see this welcome, the Holistic Hideaway. You can put pictures on there. That's exactly what shows up over here. And so I'm gonna I think I should be logged in now, so I'm gonna refresh here, and yeah, I'll be in. And so you can see those photos that I showed before along with the welcome. So you can personalize this through the support. I've been seeing quite a few people setting up some really awesome member areas and getting people engaged. And so here you can see within the member area, this is, I'm in as the account admin essentially. So I'm going to see all the vaults, but those contacts would only have access, some contacts would only have access to whoever it is or whichever vaults that you give them access to. So Talia says, I've tried to access the member area several times, but it tells me my password is wrong every time. Is it the same password as my account? It should be. It can be a little tricky, because if you have a contact set up with your same email address as your GetOiling address, it actually will try to log you in as the contact first. So I would suggest going in there to your contacts and seeing if you can put a different email address. Well, see first of all if you have your own self as a contact with your own email address. Try changing that email and see if that lets you log in then, if you're having trouble. And that typically only happens if you have like a secure domain that has your own domain name on it. But anyway, back to the demo here. We've got, so this member area has 3 vaults set up, and I'll show you how those are set up. So going back a page, this is how you set up the vaults. Just click on that, and here are your 3 vaults that you see, the 7 steps, Holistic Abundance, and Holistic Home. And again, so if you click on any one of these, and it tells you like what's in here, and this is actually a pretty good overview of what all the content is that can go into the member area and into any of these vaults. So so you can have a page, just like a regular page, like under your website builder, which is under my site settings. So you can just, an informational page, and I'll show you these here in a little bit. That's under Holistic Home has that. You can have a discussion room. This is very much like Facebook, where people can make posts and comments and tag people and upload photos and do all sorts of interactive things that can help build a community. And they can also customize their notifications and get, say, daily or weekly or hourly digests if they want as well, so they're not getting inundated if there's a lot of activity in your discussion rooms. And you can also have classes. So this is awesome for seeing the progress that someone can be making, because you can set it up so that the classes have videos. And then if they have a video either hosted on YouTube, Vimeo, or Wistia, you can see the percentage of progress that people have made as well. So you can see that, someone watched 25% of my video or 30% of the video, and then they marked the class done. So let me show you what these look like on the inside. I'll come over to the Holistic Home and click Let's Go. You can customize that, of course. But you can see these are ordered. There's a little icon according to the type. So these are pages with the little page icon, and this is a chat room, and this is a class. So if I click on this, for example, the recipes for the DIY Diva. This was made with the page builder, and it all integrates right into your member area, so you can have all these awesome resources. We've seen some really amazing member resource pages being built, as well as resources for product customers too. So it's a fantastic way to get information out there, your treasure trove of business building knowledge or whatever. This one happens to be the PV promos for the month. This is one of our discussion rooms. And there's only one post in here because this is a demo account, of course. But as you can see, you can use emoji, you can pin posts. There's a way to pin as an admin. You can edit, delete, unpin. You can like people's posts. You can comment. Posts and comments can have photos on them. And you can even tag people or schedule the post in the future. So you can, basically put your whole posting calendar, your marketing calendar for your posts inside your member area and sprinkle those throughout the month or the weeks or however you want to do that to continually build engagement. So, if you have a regular post, let's say at the beginning of the month, you create 10 posts or 15 posts or whatever that you're going to sprinkle twice a week. You can do that with the scheduler, and you can even tag the people, especially if it's like, the business building people. And tagging has different settings too. So there is an advantage if you tag people. The notification settings here. You can customize the notifications, and you can see like posts from an administrator, which is you, the owner of the member area. The default is that they get them as soon as possible. Everyone else is grouped hourly by default, and people can change this so if they want daily or weekly or whatever. So someone's saying they're getting too many notifications, you can send them to the little gear icon, and that will change it for them. So yeah, lots of exciting possibilities with this discussion room. And the class, this is pretty awesome here too. So you can step through one by one. What do we have in here? Okay, so this one we have loaded up with a sway. So you can do that, and people can scroll through that and see what's in there. They can mark it complete when they're done. Jump to the next lesson here, which is another sway. And we've got lots of sways, and I'm not sure. Some of these lessons might have, no, I don't see that one on here. Let me see if I can go to the last one. You can optionally have comments or a discussion at the bottom. Let me go to the last one here and see if that's turned on. No, none of these have any comments turned on them, but that's something you can do when you're setting up this class. Let me dive into the Holistic Home here in the back office. And so if I come down here, you can, let's see, so for the class, let's click on the class. You can choose how people can advance to the next lesson and whether or not discussion is allowed, which adds a little chat room essentially to the bottom. And whether or not you can require homework or approval. So you can actually even have people, if you're doing a guided sort of coaching process with someone, you can require homework so that they can upload a file, and then you'll get a notification on it. You can see the file and then come back in and approve them to move on to the next lesson optionally as well. So classes have a lot of possibilities, very customizable with the cover photo, main photo, description, so you can play around with all this. There's some, you can be emailed after the student completes the class even, or you can email them a message after they complete the class. So this could be something like if they get a little certificate once they've graduated from your class, essentially, or they completed the class, you could include that certificate in here. Maybe you have a little PDF that you're going to throw in there in a link, as a link, and then they can print that out and say, they've now been through your business building class and all that. And we did add, this is relatively recent as well. So now in any individual lesson, there's this way, but when you require instructor approval, you can automatically have some emails sent out as well. This is new since I think the last time we checked in and demoed this. You can have the email sent to the student when they request the next lesson. And then, let's see here, email the subject. So when the access is granted. So basically when they upload their homework or they request the next step, they'll get an automatic email from you. You could explain what the next steps are going to be. And then whenever you've granted them access to the next lesson, then they get an email sent to them as well. Debbie asks here, are we able to set up more than our allotted number of classes ahead of time and then only enable the number of classes allowed? Classes, yes, you can actually, like if I go back to the list, let me go back a couple pages here, back into the vault, you can see here there's all these classes. There's this little eye icon here. And if I click it, notice it's going to turn to a little eye with a slash in it. It's kind of subtle, I guess, but what that does is now if I come back over here to this list and refresh, that class is going to disappear. And so what that means is you can hide it and you could turn on an entire class. If you're doing a time progression sort of class, you could do that, like enabling a whole class. You could also do that like with lessons too. If you're talking about within a class, I believe there is, let me see, there's an enabled button here or checkbox, so you could just disable the lessons until they're ready to go. But you don't have to do that manual work necessarily. You can also do this time unlock. So after a certain number of days has passed for each lesson, so you could choose that and then have it automatically unlock every day or 2 days or week or however you want to pace your class. You could do that too. So you don't have to go in there and manually turn it on. And this is relative to the time that they got access to the vault. So if someone joins a week late, they'll be paced out. Let's say it's every 2 days that you unlock a lesson. You could do that where there's the person who comes in today is going to unlock lesson 2 in 2 days, whereas if they come in next week, it would unlock in a week and 2 days, if that makes sense. So let's see here. So Robin is saying, I checked my contact and my email's the same as I'm entering, email address now found. So yeah, Robin, just send me an email. We'll see if we can figure that out for you. And Susie asks, forgive me if I'm so behind. Did we find out if the sways that Grow Workspace is giving us will work for GetOiling texts and emails? Yeah, you can include any sway that you want to. I think we had that weekly work session recently. You can check that out on our YouTube channel, which is it's the youtube.com/GetOiling, which is where we have all of our, let me see here. So I'll paste that in the chat as well. And come here and I'll show you what our channel looks like. We did a training recently using Sway to share. So you can click on that and we have an hour of training where we go through sways in detail and how that can be embedded, because I think a lot of these online classes, if you look here, they do actually have a sway embedded right in them. So you can do that. And as far as like text campaigns, I know, say Grow Workspace, they do have some pretty awesome text campaigns. That is something that you can incorporate into campaigns. You can, basically pull them into a GetOiling campaign under contact settings. You can, create those as well and drip them out over time. Let's see here, another question. Where can you find away? Kim asks, where can you find away classes? Did you mean sway classes? I guess I'm not quite following that, but okay. So Debbie asks, let's say I'm only allowed 3 total classes. If I want to set up 5 classes and switch them out, will I be able to do that? Currently, we don't allow that. That's something that we've been getting some requests for, so we're considering it. But right now, the limit is whatever your plan is. I believe it's for the 2 most common plans are basic, which allows 1 class, and premium, which I believe allows 3. I'd have to double check on that. but yeah, so those are the classes. I think were, there's a lot of fun details in the class that you can get out of that. So let me, let's see if there's anything else in here. You can copy them. As you can see, there's a copy link as well. And that's probably about it. So let me go over to the contact manager. I wonder if any of my contacts here have a, oh, that's right. This is this test account. So hopefully this person has access to a vault. Well, if not, I'll just add this. I'll add them right here. And so when you do that, what that did now, so I probably went through that a little fast. Sorry about that. But so what I did is I went to the contact manager and I invited somebody to a vault, which also gives them access to the member area. So that just conceptually, there's a every contact has access to one your member area in general. They have one username and password that gives them access to the member area. Now, once they're in there, the vaults that they see, you can see that on the contact manager over here. So like when you click on their contact name and scroll down under vaults, the only vaults that are listed here are the ones that they're going to be able to see, unless you've set them up so that they can see. There is a way to set that up. Actually, I can show you that quickly here. Going back to the vaults, you can actually set them up so that they are, when you're editing a vault, you can let others in the member area see and join the vault. And so what that'll do is it'll show that as a vault they have access to, but then they can click to join it and they'll automatically be in. But once a person's added to the vault, or the vault is added to the person, I should say, it shows up under here. And I don't know if you noticed that, but they were automatically sent a campaign. And you can customize this campaign. That's a part of the vault editor as well. So it sends them an email with basically gives them access to the vault. They can log in. But when you click on the vault now, you'll be in this person. I just added them, so you're not going to see any data here. But this shows like what all is in this. What's in this vault, and and you can see like for any classes that you have in there, it shows what they've done. Like these will turn into little check boxes as people complete the lessons. And this is there's 2 videos here in this class, and so that will show they watched a certain percentage of the video. So you can really drill in here and see the details. And you can just, you can adjust your vault or hop right into the vault there as well. And you can remove them from the vault if for some reason, they want out or you need to remove them. If you need to remove them from the member area entirely when you're editing the contact, there is what's equivalent of a ban feature. Like, if there's somebody, if you have this set up for public access and you get a bad actor in there or whatever, you can edit their account and say, no, they don't have member area access. That basically shuts their access down entirely, should that be necessary there. So, but yeah, these, the details that you can see here is fantastic, especially like if you have a new business builder and you can dive in and see like who's actually putting in the work and watching all the videos, just so that you have that information when you talk to them. And best of all, it's at your fingertips, and it's all always there. So Carrie asks, I'm lost likely because I missed the sway class. Are these classes something we create, or do you give us these to post? So the sways, we demonstrated that because so many GetOiling customers have an account also with Grow Workspace, and they create these sways, which are essentially just online brochures. You can they're really just kind of a website that has they've created all the details, they put in the beautiful photography and all that, and it plugs really well into GetOiling. Now you can actually you can create your own sways if you want to. It's a free tool from Microsoft. Let me go over this in that training that I just had up a few minutes ago, or that I showed you in our YouTube channel from previous week. We cover that quite extensive. Or well, actually, we don't get into the details of how to create it, but you can create your free account. Just search Microsoft Sway, I believe, and you'll be able to create your own account. We have had some requests for a training on that. So, if you're interested, let us know. info@getoiling.com. If you're interested in us doing maybe some more in-depth on how to create your own. But to answer your question there, Carrie, we're not giving you the sways. Those are something that comes, that I think one of those that we were showing there were from Grow Workspace. So let's see here. So Lynn asks, is inviting a person to a vault was a bit fast. Can you identify where this is explained in the YouTube videos? I believe that's covered in that getoiling.com/member training. So if you go if you go there and or if you just sign into if you have signed this up and you can get into our member area, which is at getoiling.com/well, anyway, you'll get a link to it. You don't need the link here, but if you get in there, there's some training videos in there on how to do that. But I can cover that a bit as well here too. So let me go over that again, inviting people. So there's more than one way to get people into a member area. What I showed you was one way where you can go to the contact manager and click on their name, and then you can scroll down to vaults and click add, choose a vault, and then click add, and then they're in. So this would be something, that's an approach you'd probably use for like a business builder, because it's very likely you're going to have this as a private vault, and access only by the people that you only want people that you want to have access to it. So that's probably how you would do that, unless you have a large team with many business builders, in which case then you could set up a landing page. Or a great use case for this as well is setting up a prospects vault of some sort, which you then want public access, and this is where you could create this on maybe post a link on Facebook. So to create a landing page that lets people into a vault automatically, so you don't have to do anything, you don't have to find their contact record, you don't have to add their contact record, they basically can do that all themselves. If you click on landing pages under contacts, then you'll see a couple pages here, but I don't think, well, either way, you can create a new one. I'll just create a new one. I'll grab one of these templates. It's all in the same place. Under settings and page settings, there, if you scroll down a little bit, there's an add to vault section. So on any of your existing landing pages, you can choose, like, once someone registers on this landing page, they'll automatically be added to that vault. So you could set up a landing page as, like, get access to my secret recipe vault or whatever, so that people have some reason to get in there. And then it's your prospects vault. You can have a little discussion room, like, hey, let's talk recipes or whatever. That's, just a comment or just an example there, but you can basically do whatever you want to. And then once you're done, of course, I'll go back here to this list, but every landing page has its own link. And so if you click on this, for example, you'll get a link here. And so you can see, actually, this is a landing page set up for access to the member area. Register below and get access to my best recipes in my private member area for free. And so you can take this page, copy this thing, and paste it over to Facebook, or wherever else that you're sharing, and then people can sign and basically register to get into your member area, and you'll get a notification, a new lead notification if someone opts in that way. And that also puts them on your mailing list, which is great, because then you can email them feature promos or whatever. And, again, like with any landing page, you can have them be automatically tagged so that you know that they came in through a member area lead magnet, essentially. So hopefully that helps. That setting also exists if you're using the page builder. That's under My Site Settings. The page builder is a little bit different than the landing page builder. It's a little more complicated, but it lets you do more things with it. So under custom pages, we don't have any on this demo account, but I'll just go through here and create one. That's under settings. If you have a page setting, lead capture setting, it's a little harder to find. Again, this is a little more complex tool, but you can also add them to the vault as well if you've got lead capture set up on one of your pages. And the page builder is a whole nother topic that probably for a different day, but I just wanted you to let you know that it's there. So those are kind of your main ways you can add people to your member area, just basically by editing them and adding them to the vaults, or actually clicking here, not editing them, but clicking their name and adding them to a vault. You can bulk add them as well. I guess I didn't show you that. So let's say, again, this account only has one contact, but you could select contacts. I'll pretend I've selected 4 contacts. Under actions, you can click, this is essentially a bulk operations, but add campaign follow-up plan vault or tags. Select that, and you can add multiple people to a vault at the same time. So if you don't want to do it one by one, you can do that as well. But for the ease of use, certainly a landing page works just fine. Once you have that set up, then it's totally hands-off. You just drop the link wherever you want to, and then people will be able to join you from there. So hopefully that answers that question. And I have another question here. I have tons of classes, so now what? Well, a class really, And I think Ashley goes over this a little bit more in a different video as well. But if it's like just an informational sheet, that's something that, so a couple ways of approaching that. Number one, classes can have as many lessons in them as you want to. It can get unwieldy if you end up with a class that's got 200 lessons or something like that. So that's one way of organizing it. The other thought is that you can organize, if you're considering how your member area is architected, like how it's set up structure-wise. Let me go into the vault here and I'll pull up one that actually has some pages. So like this holistic home here has 2 pages, a discussion room, and an online class. So maybe the online class is something that you really want to know that they're perusing through, and you want to know how far they're through the content. But if you have, a lot of the classes, there's like 2 different terminologies that I've heard for classes. The class that we're using is in the sense of like, okay, you've got a series of training that, probably builds on each other over time. A lot of the classes that are available for sale, you can buy them. I think Grow Workspace is one of the places that has classes. It's like a different version of class. It's essentially, it's like a text campaign that can be sent over time. Or maybe they have these sways, which is sort of like it's educational material. Those could be loaded as pages inside of your vault. And, just to cut down on the number of classes that you have to use, then those are available for people. So like, a class could be, so this is how you all about, one specific product like lavender oil or something like that. That could be a page inside of your vault, while the class might be, if it's your business builder class, it could be like, well, here's the compensation plan, here's this other thing, basically multiple steps that it would go through. So I've seen people kind of do it both ways, either add pages to their member area or add a number of lessons to their class. So either way works. Typically though, the classes, the GetOiling classes should be used as for high value content. Typically something that people, even if you can't sell it, because, a lot of this stuff does have Young Living's name all over. Even if you couldn't sell it, the theory would be that it's high enough value where people would pay to see it, rather than like, an educational brochure or something they could probably find elsewhere as well. So hopefully that helps a little bit there. And let's see, some more questions are coming in here. The question about like, okay, so once a person gets the email, which I assume must be like when I was over here and I sent that, or I added the vault to this contact by clicking here, it added that campaign, which then sent them an email. Once they get that email, where do they create a user ID and password? I didn't quite understand that part of the vault access. Now this might look a little bit different if you're testing this on your own, or you're setting this up on your own computer, because you're already logged into GetOiling. So a good way to test this would be to use a different browser if you could, or maybe a different computer that's not logged in, or maybe log out of GetOiling before you go in. But what happens is they'll get an email, which I don't have one in front of me, but the email will say, and actually I can show you the built-in one here under contact settings, campaigns. You can see GetOiling's built-in ones. There is one here that's the built-in welcome to vault campaign, which has one email in it, which merely says, congratulations, you now have access to my vault, and then it puts in the vault name for you, and then you just click there to enter. So they get an email that looks kind of like this, and then they'll click on it, and it comes up with a page. It'll have their email and name loaded already, and all they have to do is type in a password, and then their account is automatically created, and they're put right into the dashboard of your, actually not here, but they're put into this page here, where it shows the vaults that they have access to. So it's a pretty simple, basically they get an email, they click on a link, and then they're automatically, they fill out their password, and then they're automatically into your member area. So pretty seamless. Hopefully that answers that. What else do we have here? Okay, cool. Yeah, so other questions about the member area? I think I covered that quite a bit. Oh, one other thought that comes to mind about the classes. Yeah, so the word class, as you can buy them, I think oftentimes are more suited for campaigns, which was a whole nother topic that we covered at one point. So that's under contact settings, campaigns. You can load those in there however you want to. So one second here. Whoops, what am I doing? Okay, I think accidentally clicked a button here. So, okay. So anyway, let me go back over here. We will, yeah, so campaigns and they can be loaded right in here. So like if you buy a campaign from, or a class from Grow Workspace or some other place, you can create a campaign. And again, we have a different training on that. So yeah, so let me know if you have any other questions about the member area. Again, this is a exciting new feature offered at no additional cost for you. It's just included in your basic and higher accounts. And hopefully it's a great way to get people off of Facebook if that's what you want to, or get people who aren't on Facebook into your private member area without having to join a Facebook account, because a lot of people don't really like to do that, which is fine for a lot of reasons. Okay, cool. So we've got a little bit more time here. I did have some questions from people that emailed in this week, so I can cover those as well. And in the meantime, certainly drop something in the chat if you've got further questions on the member area or anything in general. So one of the questions that came in this week was how to import contacts. And there is a short video that explains this as well, but I figured I'd like to demo that as well. This is pretty basic. If you're new to GetOiling, this is one of the first things you'll want to do, so you can pull in your members from your virtual office. So under contact settings over here, there's an import button, and we make it big because it's something you do probably often, hopefully, because your members are growing. And we do have some instructions here. And so you can follow them. Basically, you click this link to log into the virtual office, which I won't do here, but so you can sign in. I'm sure you've all seen this screen by now. Once you're logged in, there's a link called My Organization. It's on the left, kind of like with GetOiling. And then there's an advanced link at the upper right. So there's an upper right corner, kind of where I guess where the coach would be, except in the virtual office of GetOiling, or sorry, in Young Living, I say instead. And there'll be a download report. And then in that box, you want to make sure that these fields are all checked. Now, this is something we've had a little confusion on. There's other fields that are already checked, so just leave those alone, and then just check these in addition to the fields that are already selected. And then click download, and you're going to end up with a file that's going to download in your computer. It'll show up if you're using Chrome. Other browsers show them in different places, I think, depending on where you're going. Safari puts them in your downloads folder. And then you choose that file, click here, and I'm happen to be using on a Mac, so it's under downloads. You'll end up with the file. Hopefully it will show up at the top of your list. It's usually called All Accounts, and then it has a date after it. So you can search for a file called All Accounts, and then check the box. And let's see, I could probably, oops. See if I can find a file here. Yeah, so here's one. And this is a copy of one, but this is basically the name. Click Start Import. It's going to come up here with a list of fields. You can just sort of verify that these they look correct. You want to make sure that the field name matches the data that's below it. Sometimes it can, coming from Young Living, it's pretty straightforward. We actually automatically map most of these for you, but if you've got a file from another system, you can but just make sure that the field up here, because this will go into the sponsor number field in GetOiling, and so on. So you want to make sure that that's there. You can tag them on the way in if you want to, because this is used often. So like Young Living has some additional search features that, like who's about to expire. And you can do that. So you can, like, if you've narrowed down your contacts within, or your members within Young Living's virtual office, you can export those basically following the same steps. Once you've narrowed them down, you can go to advanced, I believe, and download the report. It'll just download the selected or the narrowed contacts. And so then you can come in here and tag them like about to go, or about to expire, about to go inactive. You could do that, add a tag, and then you can go back in and send an email to that tag. And if for some reason your file comes in with all capital letters like these, then you can check this box, and that'll automatically correct the case of those, so that if you do personalize your emails and texts, it doesn't look like you're shouting their name at them. So, all right, so cool. I think that covers that. So we've got some questions over here. Kathy asks, how do I offer a PDF from Grow Workspace, in this case, on my landing page? And she said, I guess it would need to be a custom landing page. And yes, that's right. So let me go walk through that process here. So oftentimes you want to set up a landing page where someone is exchanging their, they'll type in their name and email in exchange for something of value. In this case, it's a PDF from Grow Workspace that Kathy's looking at doing. So what I can do, I'll set up a blank one here. I won't save it, but I can show you how this works. So I'll create a new landing page, and under settings, page settings, you can say, well, I want to show a message after registration. And what you can do there is insert the PDF right here. There's a, you can upload the file. So like insert and manage files, click on that. Actually there's an upload file button right next to it. This just shows all the existing files. But if you have an upload file, you upload it first, drop it here, click, and then it'll put a link in there, and then which will be something like this one. I'll show you what that looks like. But it basically puts a link in there with the file name, and of course you can come over here and edit it as well if you would like, and then that will insert that in there as well. And so you could change the name of it if you wanted to get rid of the PDF. But that's basically how you can do it. So after someone registers, they will see a message after they've registered, which then can include that PDF. Now, I do recommend also including this in the campaign email. You'd want to include the link to the PDF there as well, because a lot of times, I know I've done this a lot, I'll see a landing page, I'll opt in, but I'm like running on my way to go pick up somebody, or maybe I'm running to the grocery store, and and I see it right before I go, so I don't have time to review it at that point in time. So it's very nice to also, it's nice courtesy to send them an email right after they receive it, or right after they register, with the link to the PDF as well. So then, you can save it. And again, we've got other landing page training, I believe, out there for the other details, but hopefully that helps. Lynn asks, how have you figured out how to import contacts from Facebook? Now, they do make that very difficult. I think I did do some searching on that the other day. There is a way, I think there's a way of doing it. It's very complicated. You have to go through multiple steps, and you get this big file that you have to but I think and then you have to convert it to a specific format. It's very challenging. It's possible to do if you're really tenacious, but it's once you get that list of people, it is, I think, possible if you're willing to put in the work for it. But they certainly make it hard, I think, for good reason, because then it just cuts down on the harvesting of names from there as well. So Carrie asks, when I do a filter, all members from me, because they want to call each one and get the results. If I go into a specific member's record and make some notes, it seems like after I save my notes, I have to go back and redo the filter again to go to the next person. Let's see if I can follow that through here. Let me go through here. So under manage. Okay, so what I'm assuming here is, Carrie, is what you're doing is this. So you've got your contact here. Let's say you make some notes after a conversation. Notes here. Oh, I see. Okay, so you filtered it down to ME means main. Okay, so all right. So actually, let me do this a little bit different. So you're starting with a filter. In this case, there's only one contact. I should probably pick a different account, but I'll just pretend I'm filtering by the name. So we have the one match. And then, so what you're saying is you click the name, notes go here, save. And then are you clicking back on contacts? Because it should actually take you back. If you look up here, it still has the search text of Ashley in here, as well as the sort. So maybe, Carrie, I don't know if you have more steps on that, but I could certainly look in that a little bit more if we don't have time. Yeah, we've got about 10 minutes here. So certainly send me an email. We can see if we can get to the bottom of that for you to see what's going on there. It should remember, like when you're editing it, or when you're going into the contact here and then going back to the list by clicking on contact. Oh, maybe this is it. If you click on manage over here, that resets it. So that's like the start over button. But if you click on the contacts link on the top, that will remember your search and filter. So yeah, click on the contacts on top, not on the side, because like if I click manage over here, you'll see that the filter goes away. So that might be what's going on here. So yeah, give that a try. See if that helps. So yeah, this is basically like the start over button. I want to start over from no filter here on the left. Cool. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions here. And okay, so we had a couple, we got about 10 minutes here. So I covered the importing of contacts, and So another question that came in here was like blogging 101, like how do I get started with blogging? What do I do? So I'll cover that briefly as well here. So with blogging, and I don't know if this demo account, okay, it does have one post, I guess. But if you want to create a new blog post, it's as simple as clicking the right button, and which you can also do from under manage as well if you'd like. But give it a title and a post body. You can even give it a featured image. This featured image will show up on Facebook or other places that you share it. It becomes a little thumbnail image when you're sharing. So you can make some really nice looking blog posts for sharing. You can categorize as well if you'd like to put blogs into categories, and which then you can, I can show you what that does. And let's see here. And then you can also, I think this was the question that came up from somebody, like they were wondering like, well, what are these, I don't want to email my blog post or text them to everyone. And you don't have to, these are totally optional. So what happens is if you click email or text or both, and you publish this post, what that's going to do is send the blog post to everyone by email. That has an email address, of course, in your contact manager. And now you might not want that to happen. So what you probably want to do in that case is publish, if you just want to send to some people, what you can do is, don't check either of these boxes, just publish the post. And since I have one already written over here, I'll just grab that one. You'll see, oh yeah, this is when we were demoing our introduction to the fonts feature, where you can have all sorts of awesome fonts on your website. But if you view the post, you'll see that there's a link for it. And so what you want to do is come over here and grab that link, and then come back into GetOiling here, and then I'll go back over to the contact manager. And then I'll say, let's say I would filter this down. I'm going to filter it to just maybe I'm sending this out to my business builders, or maybe it's just product prospects or what have you. So you can filter based on tags, and then come up here and mail. And then you could take that link that you posted, and you want to write a little excerpt. Obviously, you probably just wouldn't want to send this with just a link in it, because it's going to look funny and people might not want to click on here. But let's say this is my, whatever the title of your post was, you could probably start with that. Whatever it is, something to get people to open it, because the purpose of a subject line in an email is to get people to open the email. Because if you're like me, you get hundreds of these things a day, and it's like you have to be very selective about what you're going to spend your time on. So give it a subject line that people are really, it's going to kind of grab their interest. And then you can come in here and maybe you want to share part of that post. This isn't maybe the best example, but let's pretend that this part here that I'm highlighting, which I'm copying, is something that I want to start off with. So you've probably seen this technique used before, where there's someone sends out an email and it's got like a cliffhanger beginning. They'll send out the first 2 sentences and it's just enough to get you intrigued to click that button. Well, that's kind of the idea here. So like if I paste in let's pretend this is the cliffhanger part of the introduction. If I paste that in here, and then you could say something like, click here to read more, here to read the rest. And then they would want to click on that, and or you could even make this, like if I would, let me copy the link here. I could even delete this, highlight this, and insert the link like this, so that people don't have to see the big ugly URL. And then let's make that font something fun and big. And so then, then they have some reason to click through and read the rest. So that's kind of one of the common questions we get is like, well, I don't want to email everyone when I'm publishing the blog post. Like when that only shows up when I'm making a new one here. On the bottom here, it's got email or text. You don't have to do that. It's a convenience, but basically if you want to narrow it down, you can get more mileage out of it by only including part of the post inside of your email, and then having a click here to read the rest, because then the more people that click on your emails, the higher likelihood they are to be delivered to the person's inbox and not their spam folder or one of their promotions folder. So that's a little trick. Anything that you can do in an email to get people to engage with it a little bit more, whether clicks are the best, then that helps your future mail delivery rates as well. Let's see. got a question. I think that covers the blogging. We have one more, I think, time for one more question here. Actually, let's see here if this is something. No, this isn't. Okay. So Kathy has a question. Can you go over how to put my leg builder info into Young Living's Pure Protein Complete page using the blog area? Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So this is a question we've had. Like, you want to include a link to Young Living's website, because the way that Young Living has everything structured, in order to make a sale, it has to go through their youngliving.com website. So they have created a way for you to create a link to their website that passes along your member number. And we've touched on this in some other lessons before, but this is a great reminder. And actually, this came out of your feedback, which, thank you for that. We actually added a feature inside of our editor now. So like, you can create a link. So first of all, let's say you want to, I'll just go over here to the US Young Living products site, and Kathy was talking about the pure protein. So I'll just type that and grab the chocolate one. That's my favorite. Little drop of peppermint oil in there is pretty tasty. So now what I've done here is, like, in the link above, you can click this. And so once it's highlighted, I'll right click, copy. Now we have this link. Now there's some special code you can put on there at the end. You can say, you can type this in, and I'll go over what it is, but then I'll show you the easy way to do it here too. We just added a tool for that. What you do here, if you want to make these links manually, this is kind of the longer, harder way. You have to type like a question mark and then sponsor ID equals, and then your member number, and then ampersand enroller ID equals your number. So you can do that, and then that will pass along this member number, in which case of 1, 2, 3, 4, and you put that on the end of every one of your links. But the easier way now is if you just forget what I'm doing there. Well, you can remember it if you want to, but you can copy this and then come back over to any of the editors in GetOiling. So the easiest way might be just click on write. We added this little leaf icon here. It says insert a YL link with my member number. So all you have to do there is click the little leaf, paste in this link. I'm just grabbing this URL from the Pure Protein Complete and hitting OK. And you can see here it automatically put all that in there. Put your member number there as well. So that saves you some time. And then from here, it's like you don't have to use it in this blog post, but you can use that. You can copy it, and then maybe you're sharing it on a Facebook group or wherever else that you want to. Or you can just leave it here, and you can even edit it and make it a nicer looking, change the text to be protein powder, whatever you want to call it. And then that has your nice long link in there. So that's great for, I think in the sway training we did the other day, or a few weeks ago, there was some people wanted to sprinkle their own link in there, and that's definitely how you can do that. Just use a little link builder, click on the leaf icon and any of the editors, and then paste in the Young Living product link, and it will give you the nice link that shares your member number and passes that along, so they get credit whenever they go to sign up. So I'll show you how that works here. And so I'll do this one here. I think I still have the one in here, and it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4 on there. So like when someone goes to checkout now, so I'll pretend I'm the consumer. I'm going to add this to the cart, and this is all Young Living site now. And you'll see, okay, this is the price. They come down here to check out, and then shows your number shows right in there. So when they're ready to check out, they can. So it's a great way to drive some retail sales. And of course, over here they have their little plug for becoming a member. Hopefully they do that. But anyway, so yeah, it definitely passes it along when you do it that way. So yeah, just click the leaf, paste in the Young Living product link, and then it'll drop the necessary tags afterwards, and then you can do with it what you wish. So Kathy, hopefully that answers your question there. And we have one other question. Where do the blogs show up on your site? That is anywhere that I think Jane, let's view Jane's site. Hopefully she's got her blog. But yeah, if you haven't customized your menu on the top, which is a whole nother topic, but there's a blog link here. You can click on that, and we should see that one post with all the fonts in it. And this is what's called the blog archive page. This shows you where the recent posts are, the comments, and because you're an administrator, you can edit it right from here as well. But your recent posts will show up on the side. And each one of these blog posts has a share button. So if you want to do a quick drop to put it on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and even your website link is on there as well. But each blog post, so you can see this is just /blog on whatever your website address is. If you click on the blog title itself, that takes you to the individual blog post page. Now this is where you would be able to share that on Facebook, and then you get that nice little graphic that shows up as well. And we have 1 more minute, and I just thought of one other cool feature for personalizing your site that we've added recently. So under Customize My Site here, and I believe this is, boy, I don't remember offhand. I don't think this is on every plan. I don't remember the details of that offhand, but some of the plans now have an advanced settings where you can choose a custom share image as well as a page title and a custom sharing description. So basically what this means is when you share on Facebook, and I should have one of these in front of me, but I just thought of this. So when you share on Facebook, you end up with, it shows basically a little picture on the left, and then we'll have a title across the top, and then I'll have a little blurb. Well, that's what these are. You can choose your picture, whatever image you want to, and that normally it's whatever your website image is, but sometimes that just, you want to have something different for when people are sharing. And the page title, you can even change that page title so that shows up on when you're sharing it, as well as a custom sharing description. So previously, I think this would always say something like, check what can essential oils do for you and your family. Now you can change that to be whatever you want to. And so that's a nice addition there. There's even a custom section. For those of you using the built-in website themes, you can add a section to your theme right below the My Story section, like going back over to Holistic Mama here and scrolling down. This is one of our website themes. So this is a custom image we've uploaded, but this is one of the standard website theme images that comes with it. So, the story, you can upload your photo and put the story in here, but that custom section shows up between here and here. So, and it's full width, so you can do with it what you wish. It's kind of like having a page builder there. So that's a nice little way to customize the built-in themes as well. So that's also relatively new. So yeah, certainly be sure to check that out as well. All right, so one last question here from Carrie. Would a blog area be the place to use instead of sending out a newsletter that's lengthy, or is there another area for newsletters? Yeah, so actually, depending on what you're putting in the newsletter, it could be a good place for it. If it's something that's super time sensitive, like if you're just, if the blog or the newsletters you're sending out are just strictly monthly promos, those expire, and those probably may not be the best content for your blog. But if you have content that's a little more timeless, like it's going to be around, it's got some information about your favorite products or oils or whatever on there, then that's something that your blog is found by Google, and so that will over time build. You'll get some search engine reputation, so to speak, when it comes to searching for certain keywords. And so yeah, the blog area would be a great place to use. Well, I would say not. It's something you would want to use in addition to sending out the newsletter. So you may want to send out the blog post by email to get it in front of people rather than hoping that they visit your website or pasting a link to your website. So sending emails and texts definitely gets it in front of people a little bit more. And so that's a little bit more effective, more like, push marketing, getting in front of people rather than passive waiting for them to be around. But it's a great secondary part of your strategy to have blog posts out there that are rich in keywords that people are searching for, because if you can have that content, that's great. That'll make your site stand out from all the others, because it's really not very many people who blog extensively. So yeah. Anyway, Suzanne has one quick question. So about the advanced settings for customizing your site, that's under Customize My Site on the menu. Click that, and there will be, scroll down to the bottom. If your plan has it, there will be a little advanced setting links down here. And then you can customize that as you see fit. So cool. I think we have reached our hour. Appreciate it. So I don't see any other questions. So thank you today, and we will talk to you later.